The entire music industry has been completely sidelined since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. There have been no shows, and they're canceling tours into later this year, with some bands rescheduling later this year, and even those shows are not guaranteed. I think there will be some happening some places for sure, given that reopening has already begun and they are starting to allow them in some places. But the likelihood of major stadium rock shows is at least not foreseeable for the next couple of months, I would imagine. But that doesn't mean that in certain places, again, there won't be shows. And we are now seeing, believe it or not, the first big rock show scheduled to take place, and it's going to happen in Arkansas in a big theater venue in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And so the country rock band Bishop Gunn has scheduled this show, and they are outlining their plan to put on this show, and they have specific guidelines that they say they're going to follow. Billboard is covering this, but I saw this on Lamb Goat. They were right on it, as always. I've linked to them in the description here. Here's their article. It says, Travis McReady, frontman of country rock band Bishop Gunn, is scheduled to perform next Friday, May 15th at Temple Live in Fort Smith, Arkansas. To our knowledge, this will be the first sizable show to take place since the live music industry was shut down in mid-March due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He told Billboard that they will do a socially distanced crowd that will be comprised of special groupings that Ticketmaster is calling fan pods. Again, Ticketmaster is now in on this as well. And I've said this previously, when you've got a publicly traded company that has a fiduciary responsibility to make money, they are going to try and find a way. They are going to pull out every stop in the book, things that you never thought were possible before. They are going to start deploying these strategies. So it says, fan pods. The pods are intended to be groups of 2 to 12 people that have been social distancing together. You can view the seating configuration here. So let's click that seating configuration. So yeah, they're selling the tickets, and if you look the way they have this done, so if I want to buy some tickets here, I can go in and buy them. Now, I don't know if they've already sold a bunch of tickets or what, but it looks like they're using their typical map here, and then once you get to the venue, they're going to have you grouped in a certain way. But you must purchase 6 seats. So if you want to get tickets to the show, interestingly enough, you have to purchase 6. Let's see what happens when I try to go through. Oops, you're required to select 12 tickets. Must purchase 12 seats. What? Must purchase 4 seats for this pod. But you can't purchase an individual ticket to the show. That's crazy. The story goes on to say, according to the special guidelines, venue capacity will be reduced by 80% from 1,100 to 229. Attendees will be required to wear face masks there, and there will be a 10-person limit for simultaneous use of each bathroom facility, which is pretty easy to do. You put people in a line. That's sort of typical now at this point anyways. Concert goers will have their temperature taken before entering. Will move about via one-way walkways. Wow. Temple Live employees will also be wiping down touch points in the venue bathrooms. They say it will be sanitized by an independent third party before the event. Arkansas governor says that indoor venues can resume live shows on May 18th, 3 days too late for the McReady concert. A representative for Temple Live confirmed that the show is set to take place on May 15th, but was unable to address the discrepancies between the show date and the capacity intentions in the governor's guidelines. Now, despite that discrepancy they mentioned in the article, the venue representative from Temple Live points out here that they are working with the state's health department, so evidently they have their support. It says, we actually just got off of a conversation with the state health department. The governor's done a great job with his administration and how he handled this. If you are a church, there are now restrictions on how many people you can have inside as long as they follow guidelines and stay 6 feet apart. So our position is a public gathering is a public gathering regardless of the reason, whether you're going to go to a quilting event, a church, or a concert. Tell me the difference, because in our opinion, it is discriminatory. We've got a lot of time, and there is an open line of communication, and I am the eternal optimist. I think we'll be all right. So you've got to buy tickets in groups. You can't go by yourself, essentially, or if you do, you're going to still be paying for 4 or 6 people in these fan pods that they're referencing. I don't know how that's going to work, but it does look like Ticketmaster is in on this. They do have a strategy they're deploying for people who want to have live shows, which I've mentioned in the past. Whether you agree with it or not, whether I agree with it or not, Ticketmaster has always done what they want to do, which is get that cash. Everything else is secondary to them, dude. That's my opinion. Ticketmaster's saying, listen, we're selling tickets. We're Ticketmasters, and if you want to put on a show, we're going to help you do it. And so no statement from them yet on this, but Billboard does say they have this called Fan Pods, and obviously they approved of the listing, so no other way that they're not in support of this. So very interesting situation. Let's see how this plays out. At some point, shows are going to come back, and it seems like this band in Arkansas is really testing the waters here. So let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes. I hope everybody does stay safe. But man, I don't know if I'd be going to that show right now. But anyways, thanks so much for joining us here at Rockfeed. If you're new here, you can subscribe with notifications on. We're also on your favorite podcast platforms. Consider joining, getting a Rockfeed membership, special badge in the comments. You can participate in the weekly Q&A, get your band listened to, all that fun jazz. Again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all very soon.